Keystone Resources, and we are a proposal brand and interactive agency, and each one of you has a handout for this evening, as well as some flags and a highlighter gives to you from Keystone Resources. So here's your handout, and use your pens. So a little bit about us. Like I said, we're a brand, interactive, and proposal agency. We focus on getting you business and keeping business. We've got a great 10-step process. We've got quite a few representatives from Keystone here with me tonight: Iris, Vanessa, Erica, and Kristen, as well as Susan. So please feel free to ask us lots of questions. I will talk fast because I can typically do this proposal seminar in about 3 hours. So obviously this is a modified version of it. So a little bit about us in proposals and the types of proposal services that we can offer each and every one of you. You can hire us for full service proposal development, or hire us to do your capability statements, your RFIs, your RFQs, or your interviews. We can help review your proposals, or we can do it from start to finish, as well as helping you with the strategy throughout that entire process. Obviously, we can help you with additional branding and marketing opportunities as well. So for example, if you have a new project that you need in your proposal, then we can also put that new project on your website, as well as brand it and promote it on your social media channel. So we're really and truly a one-stop shop. But what we're going to talk about today is specifically our proposal section. We're here in Houston. We're in the Heights, woman-owned. I started it 14 years ago. We'll be in our 15th year in January. I just recently graduated from the Interagency Mentor Protege program, was a Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business graduate for the first cohort. Our win rate, not only our internal proposal win rate, but as well as our external proposal win rate for clients who engage us to do proposals, is 87%. I've been doing this for 15 years. I am a certified proposal manager, and for one client in particular, we helped secure $2.5 billion worth of business for the next 50 years. I was co-proposal manager for the largest North American award, which was $25 billion, which was awarded to Irvine Shipbuilding in Halifax, Nova Scotia. So been there, done that, and everything and anything in between. Keystone has won quite a few accolades and awards over the last 14 years. We've made the HBJ Fast 100 list twice. We consistently stay on the list of top ad agencies as well as top graphic design firms, and I've been lucky enough to be on the list 3 different times for top women-owned firms. Culture is a huge, huge part of what makes us successful, and we've won the best and brightest companies to work for, not only here in Houston, but as on the national level 3 years in a row, and we'll find out in October whether or not we won HBJ Best Places to Work. But we're a finalist, and we're very, very proud of all of those accomplishments. So, how to win proposals, and go ahead and just jump right on in. And so really, winning is an interesting word. Obviously, winning is getting the work in and getting the job and the check cashing in your bank account, right? But sometimes, whether you go after a proposal really depends on your objective, right? So if you may not qualify 100% for that pursuit, you might want to go ahead and do it just in case, right? So what is your overall objective for that specific proposal? Is it a learning opportunity? Maybe you've never done a proposal with the City of Houston before. Maybe you want to learn how to do those proposals, or the port, and you don't have the time to go through the whole port university that's about to start up again. Or are you just trying to get awareness within your organization for that entity, whether that might be Dallas Independent School District, or just a foot in the door, or you want to start establishing a partnership. Maybe you want to get on the list, and you might want to start a joint venture, so you want to see who else is bidding. A prime, subprime, you might want to go just to the pre-bid to see who else is bidding and whose team you can bid on, and then obviously to win. So you might go ahead and do a proposal that you're going to score 80%, but your long-term gain, right, is to eventually do work with U of H. So you're going to put in a few proposals, right, if that indeed is your specific objective for that proposal. Obviously, the long-term gain is to win, right? How many of you capture and track your win rate and your capture ratios? Awesome. This is actually pretty high, much higher than I suspected. So what is that? So your win rate, to calculate your win rate, and I'm just moving down the sheet, Your win rate is the number of bids won over the number of bids submitted, right? Then your capture ratio is the actual value of the bids that are won over the value of the bids submitted. So you can look at that number holistically, total number of bids to get your win rate, or you can subdivide them. Maybe you've got various service lines. Maybe you're doing affordable housing, you're doing construction or your infrastructure, or maybe you're going to track higher ed, cities, state work, right? So you're going to have your overall number, and then you can segment it to really dive deep and figure out where you're spending your time and where your success rates are. I just got quite a few examples there. You can divide it by state or local, or I think what's really important, especially if you're a sub and going after primes, who are you winning with, right? Because if you're spending all of this time putting together your subcontractor packets for this prime and you're not winning, well, guess what? I'm going to go find a different prime, right? Or if I need to find a different partner for a joint venture, as well as, I don't know, depending on the scale of your work, maybe you're going to track all of your P3 works, your private partnership work. So the three biggies. So we've got this proposal, it's come across our desk, and we've got, you ready for this, a month to do it, which is almost unheard of, right? So what are the three biggies to consider? Your schedule, the resources, as well as your costs. And when I talk in terms of costs, everybody's like, well, Julie, it's not costing me anything to put together this proposal, which is absolutely incorrect. It's costing you your most valuable resource, which is your time, which is opportunity cost. Right, so you should be tracking how much time from the day that you get that proposal to the day that you submit it, how much time that it took you to put together that pursuit. And a lot of people don't track that. When you're working on your pricing, you need to factor that into it, right? Because you need to recoup those costs plus get your additional profit when you're submitting it. So think about, do I have time in my schedule to submit this, right? And I mean time during the day, not at night, while your kids are doing your homework, while you've got, The Bachelor on, right? Like dedicated time. Resources, is it going to take just you to get this out? Is it going to take you and a few other people? And then, of course, I did automatically, jump into cost and opportunity costs, but as well as what are the hard costs? Employee cost if you have them involved, as well as, your print cost as well. So when you're reviewing the RFP, you're doing it during the day, then you don't have a glass of wine. But if you're doing it at night, because sometimes our days start from 6 a.m. and go till 10 p.m., then you're going to have some wine. But I always grab 3 highlighters when I'm reviewing a proposal. Then I grab those flaggies as well. And that pen that's got a highlighter on one end and a pen on the other. And if there is something in the actual proposal that I have to do, I'm going to highlight it yellow, right? If it has anything to do with pricing or how I'm going to price the proposal, I would highlight it in green. And if it's anything regarding a question that I need to submit, either ask my team or submit it to the entity, I highlight it in orange. So very quickly, as I'm reviewing it, I can see those indicators. All right, and then I also use the flags, and we flag the pages of the proposal in regards to scope, in regards to order of the proposal, in regards to copies of the proposal, questions and the specific tabs. Maybe there's content that spans over multiple tabs that you need. So quick reference as you're going back and forth, because if we start a proposal, say on October 1, and we submit it on October 30th, those pages kind of start looking like toilet paper, right? Because they've been worked and back and forth and highlighted and flagged and all of that. So proposal math, I love this because this is an immediate way for you to be disqualified. So if the proposal says 1 original and 2 copies, how many do you put in the box? 3. 3, absolutely. 3 go to the entity and 1 must be marked original, or automatically you get thrown out. It doesn't matter if you spent 200 hours on it and $2,000 or $200,000, you're going to get thrown out. And we always include a hard copy for us, because when you go to that interview, you're going to want to have that proposal exactly as you submitted it to them with you. And then you also just want it for your library, right? For when you do the next proposal, you can go grab it and quickly reference it as well. So if it says 1 original and 2 copies, you are going to print 4, okay? So that's proposal math for tonight. Moving to the middle of the handout, that middle column, compliance versus responsive. And what's the difference? So if you are non-compliant, that means you cannot follow directions. You did not do very well in kindergarten when Simon Says, right? And that is automatically, like, you're not even gonna get considered. Like, and that is the quickest way. Like, I would never want to be an evaluator on some of these proposals where you know that 20 people are submitting and there's a 100-page limit. Just think about the sheer number of pages that you're going to look at, right? So that is their quickest and easiest way just to filter people out. If you can't follow directions, boom. If you only included one original, that's it, that's in your packet, you're automatically thrown out. If your hub plan isn't done correctly, boom, you're automatically thrown out. So that is obviously page limitations is the quickest and easiest one, as well as date and time, as well as formatting. People are like, oh, well, you know, they just said 3 pages, but they won't know the difference between, you know, Times New Roman 10 and 12. Yeah, they will. I've actually seen evaluators get rulers out. If it says 1-inch margins and you stretched a couple of pages just a little bit, nope, you're out. So non-responsive is very different, and that is not addressing the customer's underlying needs. Okay, and the quickest way to be non-responsive is to just fill up a whole bunch of canned information that you just copied and pasted off of your brochure and copied and pasted off of your website, right? You're not responding to their specific needs. If it's an RFQ, it might be a little bit different, right? Because it's a request for qualifications. It can be fairly general, but try your best to customize it for them. You know, if you're applying for a project in higher ed, well, make sure at least half of your projects are higher ed, right? So take that time and make sure that you're responsive. Alrighty, proposal elements. Addendums and amendments should always be in the front of your binder. And we like to print them out on different colored pieces of paper, right? So if it's the first amendment, it's yellow. If it's the second amendment, it's pink. If it's the third one, it's blue. And if it's the fourth one, it's green. And they go in that order in the front of the binder, right? Because if something changes, especially in regards to scope and pricing, and you keep referring to the original RFP that went out, guess what? You're non-compliant, right? So put it in that order and put it at the top of the binder.